Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy and Moose. We've got a small claims court case because wouldn't it be nice if every time you got an expensive vet bill, you could sue someone? Yeah. We hope you like it. Court with Krissy and Moose is now in session.
Okay, so who's going to speak today? Is it Ms. Livingston or Mr. Wilkins?
I'll do it, I guess. Darlene Livingston.
Okay, Ms. Livingston, I can see your left arm, and your left ear. Yeah, move the phone around. There we go. Thank you. Okay, folks, I say almost because I think I've looked at all the exhibits, but almost all the exhibits. And so somewhat familiar here, although I have some questions. Ms. Livingston, let me see. Geez, having read all that, now I can't remember your dog's name. What's your dog's name?
Malaga. Malaga.
Yep. You know, Malaga is a town in Spain.
Yep. And it's also a winery over by Wenatchee.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know the winery, but I know the town in Spain. Okay. And now I know you have a dog named Malaga. First question, and I couldn't tell from all the documents I was reading, did Malaga survive her gastroenteritis?
Yes. It was touch and go, but she's doing way better. She's almost 7 months old now. We've got her up to 58 pounds. And she's back on her 2 to 3 cups a day, extremely active on a half acre and having fun.
Okay.
And let me say real quick, I had no issue with the training at all. It was just the boarding care I have issues with.
Right. I understand that. Okay. So the issue, as I understand it, is that you were routinely feeding Malaga 2 to 3 cups of her food a day, and that was upped at the kennel to 3 to 4 cups per day.
4 to 5 cups a day.
Okay. I think I saw a note from Ms. Fisher, 3 to 4 cups,
okay.
And I think that was the question to you was, are you feeding her 3 to 4 cups because that's what you're doing? You said, no, I do 2 to 3. I think somewhere I saw that text exchange. And it's your belief that this increase in food intake, because dogs typically don't have the say no button, they'll eat what food is generally in front of them, that in your mind, that's what caused the gastroenteritis, because perhaps she was eating more food and not drinking enough water.
Exactly.
Is that your position?
Yes.
Okay. And she wasn't able to keep the food down, so that ultimately resulted in some significant weight loss as she returned to you from her 2 weeks at the kennel. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And it looks like you took her to go see Dr. Johnson at some point in August, and Dr. Johnson indicated that he was not willing to write a letter for you detailing his belief as to what caused the gastroenteritis, because he indicated in his response to you that he wasn't sure what caused the gastroenteritis. It could have been a variety of factors.
That's her regular vet, and it's a female, and she wasn't sure. She couldn't be sure because it was like 3 days later. After we had picked her up, we finally got her in because things weren't settling down and they wanted to keep her on the special diet. She wasn't sure and she couldn't be completely positive.
Right.
But all the notes from urgent care on like 3 hours after we picked her up, we were headed to urgent care.
Right. Yeah. I saw all the things indicating that
she wouldn't write a letter because she couldn't really actually say for positive which one, exactly 3 days after the fact, which I understood. we had a discussion about it. So
Right. Yeah, so what I saw in the various medical notes was very alarmingly low electrolyte level, and that turned into a diagnosis of gastroenteritis, and that Malaga was in serious condition there for a period of time. But we have the diagnosis. I didn't see anything anywhere that indicated the cause of that. And I understand your argument is that there was a change in the feeding pattern, and there was some belief that the dog was significantly dehydrated, although by having diarrhea and vomiting, that can cause dehydration in and of itself.
yeah.
The question for me is, other than you thinking, well, she wasn't sick before she went, she's sick when she comes back, and she's lost weight, and they changed the feeding schedule and amounts, that has to be the cause. That sounds to me like that's essentially your case. Is that right?
Well, when I get this text message, like at 10 o'clock in the morning when we're on our way to go pick her up, that says, remind me, how much did you have me feeding her a day? I'm thinking, you've had my puppy for 2 weeks. What do you mean? How much did I have you feeding her a day? And I texted her back 2 to 3 cups a day. Why? Oh, I was doing 4 to 5 cups a day on her second week because I noticed she had started losing a little weight, and with her being so active. No person in their right mind feeds a 7-month or 4-month-old puppy 4 to 5 cups a day. I have talked to trainers that professionally train Malinois. They don't go over 3 cups a day. They're not supposed to be a big husky dog. You can't puppies are going to eat whatever the heck's put in front of them. I've had dogs for a really long time. No, you can't do that. I did some more research on it, and yeah, the gastrointestinal comes from overfeeding. Taylor had given her 3 cups before 10 a.m. the morning of pickup. Really?
Okay.
For a 4-month-old, 32-pound puppy? That's a lot of food, and she lost 13.5% of her body weight in 2 weeks being with them. This has been a puppy we've had since she was 6 weeks old, and she's consistently gained weight. We feed a very good puppy food. And it's not my first rodeo when it comes to dogs or puppies.
Almost 10-year-old brother.
We've got 2 10-year-old brothers and sisters of hers here, too.
All right.
And I mean, like I said, we have no issues at all when it comes to the training. Tim did an absolutely amazing job with her. It was the board and care I'm having issues with. And we tried to settle twice now in mediation. Just pay the $2,400 in vet bills and we'll be done. I had to save up enough money for the $2,000 in training. And then scurry and borrow the money for the $2,400 in vet care that was not expected when we took 3 hours after we brought her home.
And Ms. Fisher, go ahead.
Yes, we had her contract had said that she had been doing 3 cups of food a day, and it was also in that contract that she signed before I actually had Malaga explaining. Here, I can read it word for word just so I make sure I don't have any confusion. The owner will bring dogs food. Please plan to provide an extra week of food in the planned other than the planned stay in case we feed more or the dog must stay a couple extra days. It's very common, especially with puppies that are around 4 months old or younger. If their activity level changes drastically, their calorie intake should, increase as well to keep up with their growth spurts. They're going to go through many growth spurts when they're under 6 months, especially. So in that case of noticing her dropping a little bit of weight, I did up her food. And it was mentioned multiple times by Darlene that was not done gradually. She never confirmed that with me, and it was done gradually. I have also been dealing with dogs for a very long time, and I do this full time. So I do get a lot of puppies around that age and make sure I'm feeding adequately due to the increase in activity level. Typically, we do have a higher activity level when they're with us rather than at home. We're constantly working with them. We live on 5 acres. I mean, they're there for a purpose to learn. So we spend a lot of time with our training dogs. So the doubling the food was incorrect. That is a claim that was made by Miss Livingston. And it is in the contract that she signed and filled out that it was 3 cups a day, and we had we may up the food intake to make sure she is staying healthy, which is also in that same contract. It was noted that, like I said, the vet could not confirm and would not sign off on, it being pointed at us. Gastroenteritis can be caused by a lot of things. Stress can also induce diarrhea, lethargic. With the day of drop off happening, our normal procedure, we do a bath before they go home as well. I live on acreage. I want dogs to be clean while I have them in my home. And I also want them to be clean going home, no dirt, debris, anything like that. So she got a bath. She got her feeding of 2 cups before that bath. And then we did a mini training session where an additional cup of food was hand fed. We do that as like a treat alternative. So they're not getting, anything different than their normal diet. We don't want to include any additional food. And then that was given before the go home. We drove her to the facility and had about an hour lesson with Mr. and Mrs. Livingston to go over all of the training. They were happy. Everything went well. And then the dog was transported from Rochester, Washington to, I believe, Aberdeen, Washington. So another about an hour car ride. Car rides can make dogs stressed. So can a lot of new activity. So that can be amounted to being normal with maybe getting some diarrhea. Her last poop at the facility was solid. We never had any issues with diarrhea, throwing up, anything of the sort. If I did, I would have immediately contacted Darlene. But seeing there was no symptoms, no issues while having her, there was no reason to alert her of something that wasn't happening. I was immediately notified within, I want to, roughly about an hour, hour and a half, that a Facebook post had been made that we were tagged in. My company was tagged in, talking about the training. They had gotten Malaga back. And then there was a comment on there by Miss Livingston about she was misinformed about the training methods we use, which I saw and immediately wanted to address as a business owner and as a person. If there's an issue, definitely want to make sure there's clear understanding and any confusion that was had. So I immediately messaged her, resolved that. She said she wasn't aware that e-collars or stuff, was used. And then I pulled up a message from when I booked her explaining that they were in text message, as well as her contract also says we use e-collar and prong collar if needed, but prong was never used with her dog. She said she was okay. That's fine. Everyone else in the in the household was happy. And we moved on past that. Then it turned into, she had stated the dog's first poop being home was solid. And then there was a runny stool, which she provided a photo of. And I explained to her, after a long car ride, after a training session with new boundaries and expectations with owners, it's normal for dogs to undergo a certain amount of stress with all these changes, car rides, stuff like that. Watch her, make sure she's not gorging on water, because that's another stress sign, is dogs that are getting, loose stool or gorging themselves on water. And then I was informed, I just kept receiving messages on updates on her, which I would respond to, give information for any questions she asked. I did provide a photo of the fecal matter that she left right before she left our facility, just to have it seen that it was, there was no issue. And then she went to the vet. I told her that was fine. If there's, if she's having concerns, that, she should do what she feels is right for her dog. But these are all signs with stress. I provided, information if they needed, had questions, stuff like that. Then with the diagnosis, we did notice her other dog in the household, who we've never had, never trained, anything like that, also had a similar issue within the month that we had gotten her puppy. Feeding issues, it's kind of known, and even with like a quick search, can cause gastroenteritis. Feeding your dog oil that's high in fats can cause electrolyte imbalance. These are all factors that can play into causing this, and it can either be a quick diagnosis that they get symptoms, or it can be over a prolonged time due to their food, stuff like that. There is a history of Miss Livingston also not doing quite necessarily the best diets for her dog. So feeding her dogs Cheetos, turkey sandwiches, which were in the vet report as well, cooking oil, and those are not, ideal foods for dogs to be eating, and can cause issues to come up, or long-term issues with, of course, an upset stomach, or issues that pop up later down the road from prolonged access to high fatty foods. Can also cause heart issues, stuff like that. So that does make sense that with the same feedings, her dog prior has also had a very similar diagnosis. But with this, we did receive a couple updates on vet bills, and then she had made a couple claims about court. So therefore I decided, if we're going to court, I have no reason to continue responding. The dog is doing, fine now. She's updated me, and now it's turned into kind of demands for money. I had gotten a Venmo request for $2,000 on, that was on August 10th. I received a request to my personal Venmo, which is in no way associated with my business, my company. Personal $2,000. Then that was canceled 3 days later. So I got another alert for that. I'm not sure why that was requested to my personal, and it has in no way, due to our business. So I was seeing that. Then we got the request that if we didn't pay, she'd be suing us for $10,000. I didn't respond. I had no point in responding. I'd been kind of getting some rude messages and just kind of felt like demands for money. So I was still not associating with the conversation. There was nothing left to be said. Then I got the suit for $4,000.
Let me just stop you, Ms. Fisher. I don't need to know about the negotiations back and forth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Then it was just that there was the writing from the vet saying there is no way to know that this was us. Also with the feeding patterns, it's happened with our other dog in the past that I've never had. That's kind of it. The feeding in the second week, yes, it was upped. And then that was anywhere from 4, sometimes 5 cups a day. And that was never at one time. It was split up between training sessions throughout the day, where kibble was hand fed in small increments as rewards, not just 5 cups of food in front of the dog, one sitting. That would make a dog sick.
Okay, so let me ask about this. You'd indicated that your clients provide the food for their dog typically. Is that what happens?
Yes, sir.
And in this case, did Ms. Livingston give you food for Malaga?
Yes, she provided her own food, and then in the contract, we also have her put out any other treats, stuff that's put in there. And it was listed that she brought the dog dish, a dog dish stand, blanket, dog food, treats, 2 toys, a collar, and a pink harness. That's what she brought with her dog for drop off.
Right. Yeah, I saw that in there. So the extra food that you gave Malaga beyond the 3 cups a day, was that the food that was provided by Ms. Livingston?
Yes, sir. That was the kibble that she brought with her dog.
Okay, so it wasn't kibble that Malaga was unfamiliar with. It was kibble that she had been eating on a regular basis.
No, we never feed any dogs anything besides what is provided with them and brought with them for their training.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Livingston, you get the last word. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to address the Cheeto and the turkey thing. Turkey sandwich thing. Since we've had Malaga, number one, riding in the truck isn't an issue, because when you're my personal dog, you've got to be my rider. I have MS severely, and I like my dogs to be with me. at all times. I'm working with one of our oldest ones for helping me. Anyway, Cheetos has always been a go-to in the truck only. If she's with me, she knows she doesn't get more than 3 Cheetos in one day. She knows where I hide the bag and she'll sniff at that point, but she will not touch it. So that's as far as the Cheeto thing goes. That's just an extra special thing just for her, only in the truck. As far as the turkey goes, I didn't try and give her a whole turkey sandwich. She was sick, not feeling good the day we brought her home. We couldn't get her to eat or try anything, so I was eating a turkey sandwich, so I gave her a small bite. Our dogs are extremely well taken care of. And yes, one of our older ones did have gastro problems, and that's because she's a lab spaniel mix and she eats stuff outside she shouldn't eat. She has since gotten better, and everybody's on Blue Buffalo. Everybody gets a turkey, rice, vegetable mix, a quarter cup a day in their food twice a day. Yeah, no. Per the vet, and this is per the vet to keep it up just for digestion for the older ones. And Malik kind of likes it too, so that extra fat helps her. But either way, the recommended feeding, overeating and consuming excessive amounts will cause digestive system and digestive issues in a puppy. The vomiting, the diarrhea, the bloating, the abdominal discomfort. She hadn't eaten anything besides one little itty bitty piece of turkey when we got her home. I sent the picture. I filed actually the pictures of what she pooped out outside, and that was like the 3 cups of food they had given her that morning before 10 o'clock. I don't see. And then as far as stress and riding, this dog is ridden since we got her. That's not the issue. Yeah. Kevin says she tells me how to drive. Pretty much. But
Maybe it was your driving that's the issue.
Right? But I mean, I don't understand how this could be anything but not us.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And I have to tell you, since I did notice the Cheetos thing when I was reviewing the various documents, that was your first sign that she was sick, was she didn't want a Cheeto on the way home.
Right?
Yeah. So all I have to say is you should watch out for Judge Meyer, who I work with. I should keep a bag of Cheeto treats for him too. But he would eat the whole bag. So if he's ever looking for a ride, don't let him in the car.
Right? There you go.
All right. Okay. I'm glad to hear that Malaga is doing much better, because I wasn't sure from reading all that. It was going to be very sad to me if she did not survive.
Malaga.
Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, Malaga says, I don't care you guys talking about me. I'm just going to lay right here.
Chewing on her ball.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I'm a dog person too. I've had lots of dogs, so I'm glad to hear Malaga survived this incident. From a legal sense, in this case, the burden of proof falls on Ms. Livingston and Mr. Wilkins to prove what the cause of the gastroenteritis was. The doctor was not willing to sign a statement indicating cause. I understand that there are possibilities that increased food can cause it, but there are other possibilities as well. So I'm going to find in this case that the plaintiff hasn't met the burden of proving what the cause of the gastroenteritis was. So I will dismiss the claim. And once again, I'm relieved to know that even though I'm dismissing the claim, that Malaga is doing well now. So that's good news. All right. Thank you all. And congratulations to the Fishers is this your first child? Was that a yes or no? Oh, your 4th child. Oh, okay. Well, congratulations and good luck having 4 children. My rule was children aren't allowed to outnumber parents, so you guys must have 2 other parents. So 10 parents. Okay, yeah. All right. Thank you and congratulations.